Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. And for this particular episode, I have a very special guest. I have Tom from Two Sides of the Story podcast. Welcome, sir.
Hey man, thanks for having me. Absolute pleasure. Big fan of your show. I mean, I'm just happy to talk to you this evening, man.
Oh, well, happy for you to be here, and thank you. I'm glad you follow the show. But without further ado, I have to do this first.
Right there with you, bud.
Damn right. Oh, that's the good shit. For me, I've got Irish whiskey Jameson is my choice of poison at the moment.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. I'm crushing a steam whistle beer out of Toronto, Ontario.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. It's the brewery's right by where the Jays play, so if you ever get a chance in Toronto, go check it out. It's quite the spot.
Oh, I will. I do look forward to being able to go back overseas one day. After buying the house. For anyone who's listening from last week, the big news is both me and my partner have bought a new house, and we will be moving. So this entire room will change. So hopefully in the next 5 years, we'll be able to travel again after everything settles down. But yeah, look, for everyone who's not aware of your show, please give us a tidbit. Tell us about your show, where we can find it. Because you guys have been going since 11th of April, 2021.
Oh, no. Much long. Is that it? That might be it, yeah. It was like a pandemic passion project that my cousin came up with the idea of. We were just like talking, and he was like, dude, I just want to have a podcast with you. And I was just like, I just bought a laptop, done deal. So the premise of the show is I didn't meet my cousin until I was 25 years old. And then even then, like, we probably hung out 6 times in that range. So the whole premise of the show is him and I getting to know each other through a podcast. Now we talk like our mutual loves of like Star Trek, the MCU, things like that. And then we'll have our little bickering moments of like so the goal of the podcast is like where we were the same without knowing each other is hilarious, and then seeing where we're different. So we'll butt heads some episodes, other times we're in full agreement. So the show's called Two Sides of the Story. So I'm Tom's sides, Sean sides is my cousin, and it's just us giving our opinions on daily thing.
I've listened to a couple episodes as well, and I've really been enjoying your back and forth. And that's such anytime keep pumping them out. Don't slow down. And that's such a unique thing. Like the fact you haven't met your cousin, and the fact that this podcast has given you a unique opportunity to get to know each other better. Which, when you said COVID passion project, same as Lights, Camera, Rant. I was like, well, I can't leave the house. I can only go to the shopping center. I can only buy alcohol. So I might as well make a podcast that I've been putting on the back burner for the past 10 years of my life.
When my sister's wedding got canceled in Jamaica because of the pandemic, I used that opportunity to buy a laptop and a microphone and start something that I've always wanted to start. And then now we are over 77 episodes later. We're here. It's amazing.
That's really good, man. But like, tell me, like, how quick does that go? Like 70 episodes.
Yeah, it flies by, man. And then like sometimes we'll bank a couple episodes. We'll have like guests have mostly been like other family members. So like our family tree is like a little bit fucked up in the sense that we don't like there are aunts and uncles he hasn't met. There are aunts and uncles I haven't met. Like it's just the way it goes. And so we've used that to introduce him and myself to our other family members, and we use it as like something like years on. other family members can be like, that was my great uncle, that was this person. So it's like it's also like a fun family legacy kind of thing that we have going.
That's really good. I didn't even think about it like that. That's perfect. Like, oh, this is this is your uncle, this is your auntie, this is they appeared on this episode.
Yeah.
Go check it out because obviously this medium is gonna last a lot longer than we are.
No, exactly. Like we even had that discussion on one of the episodes. It's just like this podcast being on the internet will now outlive us. So if we ever have like family members want to know who their great grandfather was, they can go and find out. Like he had a show on here that you can just check out willy nilly. And I've told some of my most embarrassing and personal stories on our podcast. Like there's the infamous Oompa Loompa story I told when my buddy Josh came on the show. There's a bunch, so you'll find like there's enough to shake your head at, but at the same time, it's a great place where you can just open up and be honest.
Fully agree, and that's the thing is like because you gotta remember like people obviously just listen to it in their AirPods or in the car, and when you can be more personal, people love it and expect it and different parts of yourselves, And I even say it to myself sometimes, like I say, like if I'm having a bad day or, well, last week I did because I was like, "Hi everybody, how was your week?" Well, I got reamed in a car accident last week, but let's keep going.
But everything's content now, right? Everything is now content, and so whatever bad shit happens in your life now, congratulations, you got 20 minutes of talking about something that if you want to talk about, you can. Like you can, post photos of the accident, like look how bad this got fucked up. Like you can go and show this stuff.
And I was gonna say that's
exactly.
right.
You can get engagement with the fans. Like people can write in and be like, "Yo, that happened to me." We have like an open forum with our email, which is write in, give us a scenario that you want us to talk about. Give us like Sean and I are huge Star Trek fans, so people keep on trying to be like, would you rather captain an Enterprise or would you rather like live a life like Han Solo? And this is where Sean and I disagree. As much as I love Star Trek, I would much rather captain the ship of the Millennium Falcon. Sure, by comparison, it's like a hunk of crap. But at the same time, it's my ship. I don't have to follow Starfleet's regulations and all that. As much as I love the world of Star Trek, they come with a lot of rules, man. You got to really behave yourself there.
Well, that's the Federation, yeah. I agree with you. I'd go Millennium Falcon, yes. Even though it does look like a hunk of crap, I would choose that.
But it's an iconic hunk of crap. That's
exactly,
thing, right?
exactly. Yeah. It's a iconic. Was it? Is it? Kylo Ren was like, "Yeah, blow that piece of crap out of the sky, or that trash out of the sky."
Yeah, piece of trash out of the sky. Yeah,
yeah. But
or
like,
Skywalker when he sees it for the first time. What a hunk of junk!
yeah. Exactly right. And boom, that sets the precedence for the next 30 years. I never really got into Star Trek. I've watched bits and pieces. Probably the most one out of all of them I've ever watched was Star Trek Next Generation. And it's
Classic.
funny. And yeah. And the funny thing is, when I first watched it, I'm like, huh, Xavier can walk. How? That's weird.
Oh, so you got to it late too. So like
I was late.
Yeah.
I was a late person. And
so for us, like I grew up, like it was just always on after school. And like my mom was a bit of a Trekkie for like the 60s stuff. So I kind of like had my way into the door. The movies have always been awesome.
it's
if you
10,
ignore
isn't it?
yes, I think so. Yes. I think there's 11 if you're not counting the Hollywood rendition, because Next Gen did 4 and I think the original cast did 7. But if you ignore Star Trek the motion picture, which is just glory shots of the Enterprise, they're like, we finally got a budget. Just look at the Enterprise, look at it, and then they didn't spend any money on costumes or not. It is bad. But everything, if you go Wrath of Khan on, badass movies. They even did a shot at a comedy, and they nailed it. Like the whole movie's hilarious, and it's not intended to be. I don't know if it was intended to be a comedy, but like they put humor in it that worked, and it shows that you could be anything within Star Trek, and they're doing all that stuff presently with all of the work that they have going on, from like Lower Decks, which is an amazing cartoon that you can watch right now, to the amazing nostalgia that is Picard, or the current dramatic version that is Discovery. Discovery is a great storyline which you get
Mm.
lost into. And then the present, the new show that they did of oh my god, of the name is eluding me right now, but it's the Pike Adventure, so the pre Kirk era is
Yeah,
fantastic. Strange New Worlds. There you go. Strange New
that's
Worlds.
it. Yeah,
That is, and it's excellent, and it's new storytelling. It's bringing in old villains from like the OG, so like it makes you want to go back and look at the old '60s stuff. And the best part about Star Trek is that, well, at least these kinds of episodes of Star Trek, is that it's episodic. Discovery and
yeah.
Picard not so much because they're telling a linear story, but when you go back to like what it was, it's just great episodic television.
Yeah, you can jump in at any episode at any time. Like my brother-in-law, he's the big Trekkie fan. Like he keeps telling me, he's like, "Have you watched Picard yet?" I was like, "No." He's like, "You need to watch it." He's like, "Are you watching Discovery?" I was like, "No." He's like,
and
"Come on,
and
you got to get
Picard's an
onto it."
absolute badass. Like I'm like as far as arcs go, because he comes off as this great leader, but he has made so many mistakes in his life as a character, of like being arrogant and all that. As a young man, he got stabbed in the heart and then laughed about it. This is a thing that happened that they wrote in. Picard's a fucking badass,
Oh my
and then
god!
he takes over the Star Trek Starship Enterprise after being a losing captain. His original ship, the Stargazer, gets lost in space after a battle.
Oh my god!
His story, the story is impeccable of what goes on, and then what they do in Picard is just, it's amazing. And then with the third season of Picard, where they're doing a reunion season with all the original cast, I can't wait.
Oh, it's everyone I've spoken to
If I haven't
speaks.
told you yet, I will by the end of this episode.
Nah, everyone I've spoken to puts Picard so high. It's in that same kind of category that I was talking about a couple of weeks ago. Was it's a legacy sequel. Everything right now, it seems to be a legacy sequel, is
Yeah.
just pure content, like Top Gun right now.
Mhm.
And I've just had another one on the tip of my tongue that was a
Like
legacy
any
sequel.
Mission Impossible.
Ah, I don't know if you call it a legacy sequel because it's still the same movie each time. But yeah, anything that's legacy sequel right now seems to be like pure. Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
Cobra Kai is a
exactly.
legacy sequel, and that's doing fantastic. And it's not getting a movie; it's getting a separate movie. But yeah, same thing. Picard being a legacy sequel just seems to be doing really well. Another
Well,
one.
what I like is that you're looking at things, and you're looking at a particular thing from time and go, is there more stories to tell here?
Yeah,
And there are.
yeah.
And no one gets mad at that. No one gets mad that, although it may have ended with a nice little bow on it, like, but there's still more stories to tell. No one should put a timeline on storytelling.
No, that's a really good point. And actually, you probably could answer this right now. I have a lovely friend called Mark from Mark My Words. He's just asked a question in the Twitch chat saying, which do you think is better, the TV shows or the Star Trek movies? Like, if you were telling someone to start from fresh, would you tell them to go watch the movies first, or the Star Trek show for quality?
Here's how it's worked for me. There's one particular movie that I get people to watch, and it's Star Trek First Contact. Because what Star Trek First Contact is, it's something for everybody. It's time travel, and it's essentially a zombie movie in space. One of the best zombie movie, and you get excellent acting out of Picard. One of his iconic lines is, "The line must be drawn here, this far, no further."
Yeah, no.
And it's just awesome scene. And if that doesn't get you hooked to find out more about his war with the Borg and who this character is and all of that, because that movie makes you want to go, well, why? Okay, well, that's all of season. That's the end of season 3 and season 4 of TNG. Okay, well, I want to get involved in that. So if that doesn't help, that's what I would do. Like, there's some great Star Trek movies, like Wrath of Khan. You can use that to introduce people. Yeah, exactly. Like God, like
Yeah.
it's iconic. But if you go and go, well, why is there? Well, there is a Carlos Montalban episode. Like he was in the show before he was in the movie, right? So you can go and go back and then go, okay, why is he so pissed off? That's why he's pissed. And then there's iconic actors throughout all the movies. Like Christopher Lloyd shows up as a Klingon. Kirstie
Yeah.
Alley shows up as a Vulcan. Like you get a who's who of like people going like, holy fuck, that guy. He
Yeah.
was a
The
Star
Rock's
Trek
in it too, isn't
story.
he? The Rock's
Yeah,
in an episode, isn't it?
The Rock's in an episode of DS9.
Ah, yes.
Or sorry, Voyager. He's in an episode of Voyager, and it's
Yeah.
awesome. Voyager's an awesome show. Voyager is like honestly exactly what it sounds. They get lost in a further like a place called the Delta Quadrant, where it would take them years to find their way home. So they get sucked through a wormhole, and then they have to find their way back in space that's been undiscovered.
Ah, yeah. See, look, I didn't know any. I could only tell you one show. I couldn't tell you that deep, but that's yeah. So it's a lost in space kind of thing, like
Yeah,
find your way home.
yeah, yeah. And DS9 it takes place on what would have been a Kardashian, not Cardassian. They're Cardassian,
I
not
was like,
Kardashian.
what?
Look, they're two different species. So the Cardassians had a spaceport, but then they were at war with oh my god, there's so many different alien species. So they were at war and enslaving different alien species. But the Federation comes in, ends the war, ends the slavery, but they still have the space station. So the Starfleet takes over it. So it's just ridiculous. It's a nice story about finding peace
In between.
in between all of them, even though that it might not be right on some. It's a lot of like democracy and bureaucracy, but at the same time, it's about finding peace. Can you give me 1 second? I just have to adjust my fan because I am dying of heat right now.
Yeah, that's right. Don't stress, man. If you haven't already, please go check out both our shows and all the streaming channels and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere else. Thank you.
That was a great use of time. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, well, why not? So continuing on. So that was a great introduction. It's one of the best introductions I have with a guest. So what we're going to do is anytime, man. We're going to just touch on some news that's happened the past week, and then we're going to look in Star Wars Andor and She-Hulk, which holy fuck.
I'm here for it, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. So in the past week, we got a brand new trailer and poster for Black Panther 2, which the trailer was so good. If I wasn't already hooked already, that trailer was intense, sad, and it's just like this is going to be the best Marvel movie of this year, hands down. And it just feels different compared to Doctor Strange and Thor.
Yeah, I think Doctor Strange and Thor: Love and Thunder were very comic book movies. Like they were very like I wouldn't be surprised if you read that in a comic book, both those movies.
Yes. Especially Thor, how bright Thor 4 was.
The colors
all the
that
colors.
they use and all that. And I'm not sure about what your stance was. I think you said you liked Thor: Love and Thunder. I heard that episode. I didn't go all the way back to the Multiverse of Madness.
That's all right. The fact you listened to one, I appreciate that.
I've listened to a bunch, man. Like I as I said, I've become a bit of a fan of yours. Like all the podcasts I now listen to is like it's very indie rock that I listen to. I don't miss a week of Star Wars. I don't miss Earth 894 unless I'm on it.
Shout out.
And then Two Girls One Multiverse is now a new favorite of mine. If you can have them on, they're so funny, they're dynamic, and then it's another perspective of of Marvel that we might not get. I love what they do. They're very funny.
I need to jump onto them. I am following on Instagram, but I need to listen to their episodes. And yeah, Michael and Tommy at Star Wars podcast, they do a fantastic job.
You were great on their episode, by the way. You were great on theirs. And Michael, I messaged Michael right after he was on yours. that was a long episode, and that was a great episode. Where he comes up with that fan theory about Red Hulk. I love that. That got my nipples so hard.
As soon as he said it, I was like, print it. I was like, we need to save this audio, which he has. He's put it on TikTok. I was like, save this because I have like that. I could see that happening. And currently, right now, with Michael,
he has
is the
that I
longest
told you so
episode.
moment.
Yeah, I hope so as well. Because the episode with Michael currently is my longest episode of 2 hours.
Yeah, well, we'll bring it on.
Yeah. Let's break that record.
I got more beer in the fridge. I'm good.
So I'm ready too. But no, I really appreciate it, and I liked Thor 4 for like its own like contained story. I think Christian Bale was outstanding. He was the MVP for the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
But did it not overly excite me? Is this a Marvel movie that I'll be going back to? No, not really.
I think that's what everyone's complaining about the Phase 4 right now. I think everyone feels like Phase 4 has been a lot of standalone stuff, but I do feel that that's the right way to do it because look at where we're going. Everything has to be kind of redone a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think our Phase 4 is just a brand new Phase 1. Even though we're dealing with characters we already had, we have to do a little bit of a cleanup of Phase 1 now that the Avenger days are over, or the original Avenger days are over. We have to create space for new characters.
Thank you. You summed up exactly what I've been preaching for the last few weeks about Phase 4. And like I've had this conversation with the guys at Nerd Dose podcast so many times. Is like I feel people are forgetting that this is Phase 1. Everything is utterly a mess. There is no Avengers Tower. There is no Avengers Campus. There is no leaders at the moment. And trying to find Hulk and trying to find Hawkeye, they've all gone underground. Everyone's kind of right now we know there's more heroes in this MCU than there was in Phase 1. But because there's no Avengers, everybody's scattered. There is no central point.
Yeah. There's nothing that groups them together. Like one of my bigger issues that came with like the later films of like the post Avenger films was that when you had your standalone films, where was everybody? Like where was S.H.I.E.L.D. during Thor 2 The Dark World? Why aren't they on the scene?
Yeah.
Like when shit happens on planet Earth, we have teams of people now that should be involved. Where are they all? That was my big question. It's just where are they all? When everything happens in New York and we have a group of New York superheroes, where are they all? Why is anyone helping out? Like, I know that a few questions got answered. Like, why doesn't Spider-Man help Hawkeye? Well, okay, Hawkeye can't reach out to him because he doesn't know who he is anymore. And then Spider-Man's just probably helping out doing something somewhere else. But those are my things that always kind of bug me.
It's funny you actually say that because I heard a theory the other day that will everyone who was not on Earth remember who Spider-Man is, who Peter Parker is, because the spell that Doctor Strange does, everyone in the world will not remember Peter Parker. So does that mean, Carol remembers Spider-Man? Will Hulk remember Spider-Man? Actually, no, Hulk was on the planet. Samuel L. Jackson,
Guardians
Nick
of the
Fury.
Galaxy, Thor.
Yeah, will they all remember because they weren't on the planet?
It's an interesting question because what also that affected was the multiverse, right? So if it's not affecting, like, is it everyone in the world or is everyone forgetting who Peter Parker is? Because does he say planet? Because if he says planet, then I'm with you.
No, I think
if he doesn't say planet,
everyone in the world.
Everyone in the world?
I think everyone.
Then I think there's a chance that the Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor still have an input on who Spider-Man is.
Yeah. Well, I think don't hold it to me for anyone who's listening, but I think he says everyone in the world is about to forget who Peter Parker is.
Yeah.
So when I saw it on TikTok, I was like, yeah.
That could be speaking generally, though, right?
Yeah, that's true.
like to the point. But again, Doctor Strange isn't a man that doesn't speak unless it's necessary. You know what I mean? He's not like, if he meant the world, he means the world. If he meant the universe, he would say the universe.
Well,
So
that's what screwed up the spell in the first place.
yeah.
But pulling back, what do you like? What are you excited about Black Panther 2? Now, actually, I got two questions. What are you excited most about Black Panther 2 after seeing this trailer? And please help me settle a bet that I currently have with Zach at the Nerd Dose podcast. Is
Okay.
I predict that Black Panther 2 will be the box office king against Avatar 2.
All right. So let me answer your first question with what I'm most excited about. I'm excited about Namor. Just that introduction of that character, I feel like he's a lot bigger deal than like he's a lot bigger deal in the books than we have been giving him credit for. Um, I feel like his introduction is coming in a big way. It's unfortunate that we don't have T'Challa. This kind of T'Challa being gone breaks my heart in a certain sense because there was a lot of Black Panther storylines I was looking forward to seeing, especially when Disney bought Fox, because I wanted to see the love story between him and Storm.
Yeah.
But when you lose a character, you opens up someone else to put on them to put on the Panther suit. So I'm excited to see like growing up on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'm a big fan
Great
of
show.
a strong female lead, and any one of them, any one of like the main four women in that could take on the take on the Black Panther. And like what you were talking about before is that it may not just be one, like it could be multiple, which isn't a thought that crossed my mind before. And what I do, and then that opens the door for other people to start liking Black Panther, and like young girls to be like, oh shit, like I have, like she looks like me, and like that opens that door for them, which was I was kind of sad about T'Challa or using the Chadwick Boseman storyline of him actually passing, not recasting him, because the young African American boys or young lack of a bad word, black children don't have that icon anymore. That their first superhero essentially is
Yeah.
now gone. So what do you do? How do you justify that? Like, so
That like
I am very
that's the
excited
hard
about it.
part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very excited to see who takes on the mantle of Black Panther. And do I think it's going to do better than Avatar 2? Yes. Here's the thing about Avatar 2. I think James Cameron is being a little bit too arrogant for his own good. And will I see Avatar 2 after I see Black Panther 2?
Yeah. Well, it comes in December.
Yeah, like so if they were rivaling each other, I wouldn't, like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna wait in line for Avatar. I am waiting in line for Black Panther.
Yeah.
It's that thing with, like, when I first saw Avatar, can we all agree that that was just Pocahontas with aliens?
Yeah, I saw a meme, and when it first came out, and it's like the plot of Pocahontas, like, and then Pocahontas is scrubbed out, writes Avatar, written by James Cameron, and he just scribbles out different plot points,
Yeah.
and like, oh, Pandora, here. I was when first Avatar came out. This is the thing I keep telling is like I don't have a gripe against Avatar. I think it is a great movie. It is a great sci-fi adventure movie from start
How
to
many
finish.
times have you seen it since you saw it in the theaters?
None. I've only seen it once.
See, that's the thing. I think I saw it once since seeing it in the theaters. How many times have you watched Black Panther since seeing it in the theaters? Right,
5-6 times.
multiple times. So what does that say about a particular movie, right? Like Titanic, I have seen since the first time I've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
Terminator, another James Cameron movie, I've seen a million times. Terminator 2, a million times. All these
Aliens
other generations of Terminator, I've seen probably 3 or 4 just to see if I can give it a chance. But like Avatar was a thing where just like Yes, I saw it. The 3D gave me a headache. So let me try watching it here and see if I can enjoy it. And I do. Like, it's very pretty. It's a very
Mm.
pretty movie. But to say that it's the praise that it gets, I just don't understand. It's you use animation with real life really well. Like it, honestly, you did it really well. But also, like, isn't that what Marvel's doing? Like weekly, Star Wars did that before. Like Star Wars did like if you look at the prequel, Star Wars was doing that first. Like I'm not saying he's wrong to give himself praise, but I'm just saying like there's nothing new in Avatar.
Te-
The
yes,
story is
technically,
redone. Like there's
yeah,
not.
technically no. There's nothing overly new. It was just the props to it at the time it's released. The
Yeah,
blending of the CGI with characters was the
yeah.
best thing. Um, does it deserve highest grossing movie of all time? No, that should go to Endgame. And I'm not being a Marvel fanboy. I'm just saying the fact that you put those two movies together and you can clearly tell which one you would think is the box office king of all
Well,
time.
Endgame attempted the impossible.
Yeah. They actually try to do something different.
They do something different, and not only that, they try to take 10 years worth of film or 11 years of film at that time, and then put it all with a nice little bow on it. Try to make sure, like they try to do everybody justice. And I've listened to a bunch of interviews with Marcus and
McFeely, I think.
McFeely. Just sounds
Yeah.
like a terrible Irish groper, but
Yeah.
yeah, McFeely. Um, but like the work that they had to do, and then they give you justice to a bunch of films that we discarded. Like I can look back at, we can all agree that Thor the Dark World was not its best product out of all of the movies, but because of those little scenes that they did, it makes you want to go back to it. There's
Yeah.
this like there's this love, there's this humbling of these stories needed to be told for this,
Mm.
and it's great. You get beautiful moments with Tony Stark and his dad. You get that moment between Thor and his mom. You get these, like, honestly, like I'll admit it on your podcast. I cried the first time I saw Endgame.
I
I
did too.
cried.
I
Like,
cry. I cried with
well,
Black Widow and I cried with Tony.
yeah, I cried the moment Spider-Man swung on the scene.
Oh, when he came through the portal.
Once he came on the portal, because I knew what that moment meant, and I was just like, and then like once he swung in, I was like, they fucking did it. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they did it.
That's probably the
Like they had
biggest
me.
thing is that they fucking did it.
Yeah.
They
So
fucking did it.
so I agree with you there that Endgame may deserve the highest grossing. Now, maybe if they do a
Oh,
re-release in 10 years that Avatar does, why not? But
I'll be there. I'll be
yeah,
there.
no, I will too. Just to relive. Have you ever seen a re-release of a movie with, because the fans only go? It's not like people that
Yeah.
are Mayweather fans. So years ago, I saw a re-showing at the Dollar Cinema of the original Jurassic Park.
Oh,
People were fucking into it. Okay, cheering when Ian Malcolm shows up, singing along to the background music because the music in Jurassic Park is pimp. Um, yeah, just all of that, like the everyone like laughing at the, that's what I call a big pile of shit. Like
yeah.
all of that, or the hold on to
Well,
your butts. Everyone's just clapping. Like there's this thing when you unite a group of people that love a thing. Like my experience at the theater wasn't a big cheer when Captain America got the hammer. My experience was silence and shock and awe.
what? We got a big cheer.
Yeah,
I was cheering. We got a big cheer for Thor lifting the hammer and the portal scene, and
yeah,
when they all rushed in.
yeah.
Oh,
So like, I
sorry, real
think
quick.
because I'm Canadian, we're all just so polite of cinema. We're just like, but it got an applause at the end of the movie. Is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Zach from the Nerd Dose podcast just messaged in the chat saying he also cried in Endgame. All the portals opening with the music hits you all at once, which I fully agree. The music,
yeah,
when someone tells you, oh, yeah, they're going to improve the Avengers theme, oh, they can't improve it at all. Shit. And Zach also went and saw Avatar Avatar, the re-release this week or last week, and pretty sure he said the same thing. He's like, he really liked it, and it was a lot of the fans that went and saw it.
Okay. And I might give you a different opinion of the movie when you see it with a lot of like-minded people. But like I think what you and I were just talking about is like you and I both saw the movie, and we were good.
Yeah,
Like that's it. Like a movie. What makes a movie great to me is that want to rewatch it, that need to rewatch it. Like there's
John Wick.
Well, John Wick, yeah, fuck yeah, John Wick. Anything with Keanu Reeves, like even like I know that the Matrix movies didn't do as great as like the first one did, but I don't like I can still go back to them and have a good time. But anything with Keanu Reeves, there's a great hockey movie called Youngblood where it has Keanu Reeves playing a French Canadian goalie. He's hardly in the film. This is more of a Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe movie, but just like the whole movie, he's there, and you're just like, is that fucking Keanu Reeves? And it's just
that's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. So you can go back and enjoy, man. And like I didn't have that with Avatar. With Avatar, there has never been a day where you go like, you know what I need to fucking watch? I'm doing it this weekend. Fucking Avatar. I will sooner watch Indiana Jones in the Crystal Skull than I would watch Avatar.
Oh, you're gonna make Zach very sad by saying that. Like I can't go that deep. I can't watch that movie again. That was just garbage.
I'm only saying that because I have.
Oh, shit.
saw it in theaters, and then I've watched it at home a whole bunch of times. It's because if I'm gonna do that saga, I gotta finish it.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And real quick, just before, Zach did say that his most surprising thing about Avatar when we saw the re-release was that it was a full theater on Saturday morning. He saw it.
Really? That's actually like you have a coffee with your popcorn or what?
Yeah. You have got brunch.
instead of popcorn, I'll have some bacon and eggs Benny on the go, please.
Yeah, I was gonna go to Denny's first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. So like it's gonna be very interesting how the two like you haven't seen is I did an Instagram post reel probably 2 weeks ago, and I did the voting to see what everyone would think of, and I think one of the best comments I did get, which I'll wholeheartedly agree, is that Avatar might make more money at the box office, but on paper, the quality of the film will go to Black Panther.
I agree. I actually I think Black Panther is gonna do better because here's what you get with Black Panther. You have a goodbye to a beloved character. Avatar 2 doesn't have that. Like you honestly, like if it's gonna make its money, it's gonna be it's the mystery behind T'Challa's death. Are they just gonna how's he die? He like
that's the biggest question mark.
What is it? Yeah, and you need to have and I think that mystery alone is enough to drive people to the box office.
Yeah.
And I think that does more for it than Avatar 2 going. James Cameron has been sitting on these movies forever. He's been sitting on them like a bird in a nest, and he's just been tinkering, waiting, just wanting to put these movies out. Yeah, just getting sure that the technology was just right. I mean, the man comes up like he's up his own ass. Like no one loves James Cameron as much as James Cameron does. No. I'm pretty sure he looks in the mirror when he masturbates.
Probably. I did hear something. I can't remember what movie it was, but apparently he did say they needed more time, or they needed to pick this picture or something. And apparently he did turn around and go, Titanic paid for this studio, so we're going to do it my way. I'm like, how cocky can you be? And
he's right. But he is right. Titanic was a masterpiece.
Yeah, boom. And
it's like It's like what Spielberg did. Spielberg was told in film school he would never make it as a director or something in the film.
Yeah.
Dropped out of school and then sent that teacher Schindler's List as the final project. Told him to go fuck himself.
Yeah. Which on paper, he is now arguably the single greatest director of all time. There is a giant argument to be had, but if you think about iconic movies as like a bulk, it goes to him.
I would disagree. I think it still goes to Spielberg. It's like if your level of this is iconic movies.
Oh
I
yeah.
think,
Oh, you know. Sorry, I was for Steven Spielberg.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Sorry, I thought you were talking about James Cameron for a
Oh
second.
no.
Because he does have again. His name is attached to a bunch of great movies.
Titanic, T2, Aliens, which are, the thing is, they're all great movies, and I'm not discrediting them at all. But like, if you look even bigger, you know, 3/4 of Steven Spielberg's entire filmography are blockbuster winners, and he's also credited for the fact that The Jaws is considered the very first summer blockbuster film, which then set the trend.
And then if you look at that, look at the things that he's just a producer of. Just the projects he believed in on the side. Like he's responsible a little bit for Back to the Future.
Yeah.
He's responsible for Indiana Jones.
Yep.
Like he's responsible for Tiny Toon Adventures and Animaniacs is a Steven Spielberg project. His name is synonymous around greatness. And so like to say that James Cameron, just because he had a movie that did really well at the box office, doesn't make him great. But I just getting off subject here, I guess.
No, but no, it's a good debate. No, that's the thing. It's a good debate. So I'm happy to go down on these tangents. Which, still speaking on Avatar, is that in apparently a news report going around is apparently the first act of Avatar 4 has been filmed.
Yeah.
Well, apparently. I don't know how.
I would like to see what kind of story he's wanting to tell. Like, there's that curiosity. Like, I'll tell you that. Like, I'm piqued. Like, what took so long? My curiosity.
Technology.
And I kind of want to see it. But I think that there's more emotion and more love for that Black Panther 2 to come out. That says that the stakes are raised for me. For me, the stakes are raised for Black Panther 2.
Yes, this thing is Avatar 2 is more of a safe sequel, if you will. Avatar 2, there is a lot on the table for Ryan Coogler to try and hit for this movie, but I think judging from the trailer, there's nothing in that trailer I feel like they're spoiled too much for. And I'll take a bet. I'll say I bet you that's only like the first 20 minutes or 30 minutes of the movie, and we still haven't been shown. And I love the fact that Marvel have brought out their water movie before Avatar, and Avatar has taken 10 years. So up yours, James Cameron. Which I do love. But yeah, look, a new trailer's dropped out, a new poster for anyone who hasn't seen it, which will be very surprised if you haven't. You need to jump onto it. Me and my group of friends, we picked up our tickets this week for both Black Adam and Black Panther. And speaking of Black Adam, in the past week, rumors have increased that due to The Rock's pull, he's been able to pull back Henry Cavill to come back as Superman for a cameo at the end, which if it's The Rock that brings back Henry Cavill to the DCEU, he's definitely the people's champion, and he still continues to hold that title because Warner Brothers doesn't want him. Warner Brothers doesn't want Henry Cavill back. I still love that we got that promo at the very beginning of this year saying 2022 will be the year of DC. I'm like, yeah, the year for DC to burn and crash.
Well, we were talking about this before we hit record, right? It's the
Yeah.
DC has no one that cares about DC at Warner Brothers. At least
Not in a
not the
position
way
of
that Kevin
power.
Feige cares.
Yeah,
Not
in a
in a
position
position
of
of power.
power.
Like there are some dumb fucking things that they've done. Like the Batman versus Superman could have been a great movie if you just ignore the fact that Batman kind of kills people with bullets. The whole like what was tagging people with the bat branding people, like that's not Batman. Can we, like, yes, we can all agree he will pulverize the fuck out of you, but he's branding,
Now
that's not a thing.
talk.
No, but the like there was that, the whole the mom's name being the same as his, like,
I
all right, but I gotta tell you, like, I like visually was the best Batman I've ever seen. He uses his grappling gun the best way. It was very from the comic book panel to the screen. Honestly, my favorite Batman. It was not a Batman that just had a grappling gun and then went straight up. He used it as a tool. He used it as an escape method, and it was just like he used the shadows perfectly. There was a lot more to that Batman than we got than before. Especially with, if you look at the Batman Rises or Dark Knight Rises, there's a lot of daylight Batman in that.
Yes, that is the most. That I think it's on record. That is the only film where the end fight scene in a Batman film is in daylight. I
Well,
understand why it's in daylight.
except for Adam West Batman. All of Adam West is
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
daylight.
There was
Nothing
nothing
happens at
dark about that at
nighttime.
all. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's why they
exactly.
call
There's
him the
nothing.
White Knight.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say I will give it to Ben Affleck. He was the most Batfleck, sorry. He is the most imposing physical presence Batman that has been on live action screen. And I was so looking forward to Batman v Superman when it came out. I was so excited. And after it came out, I'm like, this was just trash.
Well,
Like,
there were some panels from the Dark Knight Returns. Like, have you ever read that book?
yes, that is an
So when he does that
outstanding
fight scene,
comic.
yeah, if you do that fight scene, and they did it justice. It was a great fight scene between Batman and Superman, and then to end it with, "Why did you say that name?" You're just like, for fuck's sake, like
No.
you've been on the planet forever, and you think now there's just one Martha? Fuck off. Like,
I know. And the thing is, the opposing scene. So, if for anyone who hasn't read The Dark Knight or hasn't read the comics, so in the comics, the opposing scene is in that, how that fight ends is that Bruce picks up Clark after an arrow missed of kryptonite and says, he's like, "I'm not going to kill you. I just want you to remember the one man who beat you." I'm like, that would have been such more of an impactful line in that scene than where we go, "Oh my god, your mom's named Martha." Like, are you gonna do? And like, are you gonna do the same thing when you meet Aquaman? "Oh my god, your dad's named Thomas." Oh my god.
yeah,
But look,
it's brutal.
the Snyder cut though, fan freaking tastic.
Yeah.
I love the Snyder cut. That just
I'll tell you
fixed
this now:
so
if you
much.
watch the director's cut of Batman v Superman, like if you bought the movie and there's a director's cut you can watch instead, it's a better movie. They
Yeah,
explain
it's
a
like
lot
two and
more
a half
things,
hours, isn't it?
and it's a better movie. It's just the things that made it bad really made it fucking bad, and that's the thing. Like I feel no one cares about these characters the way Kevin Feige cares. Kevin Feige loves Marvel, fucking loves it. And also, I'll tell you this right now, a little sidetrack. He fucking loves Star Trek too, because a lot of the stuff from Endgame was stolen from a DS9 episode.
Really?
So there's a DS9 episode where they go to the past and they go into an original series episode. It's like episode 2, The Problem with Tribbles. And they're just in the past. So they had to have the present day actors reliving the scenes of the episode 2 of the original Star Trek. So all of that's done, in Star Trek. Feige's gone on record, and also at the end where they have everyone sign their name with the credits. That's
Same
done in
thing.
the final film for Star Trek with the original cast.
He's the king of the nerds. He's the king of
I'm
nerds.
just
And
saying,
like,
man, he's a Star Trek fan. And not to bring it back to that, but if you're not a
no,
Star
no.
Trek fan, there's things that unite us all, and it's humanity at its best. So check out some Star Trek.
I will. I'll put it on the list. I'll put it on the list with everything else I need to watch. But like I think another comment that I did see in an interview that he really shows how much he is a fan. Is someone said to him, "Is like, oh no, with the X-Men and everything, we're going to see them in the next 10 years." And Kevin Feige turns around and goes, 10 years? He's like, what? You want to wait that long? He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't want to wait that long.
Yeah, I want him. I want him here now, and like my big curiosity is how are we going to do it? Like how's Wolverine going to fit in Deadpool in what we have? Are we going to have the multiverse kind of thing? Are they going to get sucked in for a little bit and then just all that, and then we're going to introduce our new Wolverine? Are they going to be variants? Like I'm down for everything. I was talking about the guys in Earth 894. I have a theory that Wong is a Kang variant.
Shit, that could change a lot if it did.
Wait, just because he's around for everything now, and if Kang is everywhere, Wong has been fucking everywhere.
Yeah, it's Phase Wong.
Yeah,
it's Phase Wong.
So my theory is, at least for our Earth, a Kang variant is Wong.
Yeah, I could.
Because if we learned anything about Loki, they don't all have to look the same.
No.
So in theory, he could be an Asian magician or Asian wizard with enough tummy to love.
It would be such a massive twist if it was. But then again, if it was revealed, I'd feel bad because I really do like Wong. I think he's one of the most.
And then that opens the door for Strange to be Sorcerer Supreme afterwards.
Yeah, I know. I still love that. It's like, oh, why is Sorcerer Supreme? Oh, I got on a technicality because it got blipped. Whatever.
Yeah. So my first episode on Earth 894, I talked about that there, but it was just a dumb idea. But he is everywhere, right? You kind of feel like Wong's a little bit up to something. Like he's showing up in Shang-Chi. He's showing up here in She-Hulk. He's showing up everywhere. Can't help but think that Wong's up to something.
I don't think She-Hulk, he wanted to be there at all. He didn't want to be. He didn't want to be dealing with the law side of things. He didn't want to be dealing with that magician. He didn't want to deal with. What was her name? Madison. With
a Y and two N's, but it's not where you think.
I think it is, yeah. So I don't think he wanted to deal with her either because obviously he really wanted to watch The Sopranos. But look, that's, it'd be very interesting if that does come true. For another little bit to news, which I'll touch on, is Ezra Miller apparently is returning to do some more reshoots for the Flash movie, which doesn't surprise me because that's a complete utter mess.
Why is he being forgiven? Warner Brothers didn't forgive what's his name? Jack Sparrow. Johnny Depp for not doing anything and fired him from those Harry Potter spin-off movies.
No. I don't know.
And this guy clearly committed crimes.
He hates Hawaiians.
Yeah, apparently. I
don't know.
When Brent Gustin's right there, I mean, and I feel for guys like Michael Keaton that like he's been putting on the bat cowl for so long to not see it now with Batgirl and this and
don't get me started. We'll be here for like another 3 hours. God, I can't believe that. And I don't know why he's been forgiven. And the thing is, I saw the other week. So when the Flash TV show got announced, it was the same year the Flash movie got announced, and the Flash TV show will end before the Flash movie finally comes out.
Yeah.
How ridiculous is that? And I don't know, this is the thing, is like I'm a massive DC fan. I literally have like a Batman
Dope.
tattoo.
That's dope.
Yeah. Thank you. But in films wise, I have no hope in him. What do you got? What do you got?
I got a
Yeah, boy. My partner would love that. She's massive, massive Harry Potter fan. But yeah, I just have no hope in DC at the moment. That's the terrible thing is
and there was a time where I did, but can you like, aside from the Christian Bale Batman movies, name like a really good Batman movie or a DC superhero movie? Because like aside from Superman 2, the rest of them aren't that great.
I
Like
would say the first Batman movie was good. With
with Michael Keaton,
yeah, Michael Keaton. I think the
and
first one.
where he murders people.
Hey, you don't see the bodies.
Well, you clearly see them when he blows a dude up in Batman Returns.
I know he puts the bomb on him and then punches.
Yeah,
I know. Uh,
I
you're
just like, there's just is a thing that just never sat well with me, and I didn't realize it until I got older. It's just Batman's main things that he doesn't kill, and if you look at the Tim Burton Batman, he just murders left and right and center. And then I have a fan theory that those like campy Batman with Val Kilmer and
yeah, George
and George
Clooney.
Clooney, they're just Hollywood adaptations of the Michael Keaton Batman. Like he's real Batman, and then they're gone. But then again, it's the same Commissioner Gordon and Alfred, so like take it with a
Yeah,
grain of salt.
yeah. Yeah. See, Michael Keaton is the version that I grew up on. Like that's the Michael, and like I never really liked. Like the only reason I like the Val Kilmer one is because Jim Carrey's the Riddler. But I
Yeah,
didn't like the George Clooney one. I think Arnie did a great job. But like, yeah, Michael Keaton kills.
too many ice puns.
Oh,
Nice to meet you, Batman.
I used to meet
What
you.
killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
But the funny thing is, like, everyone's like, it's so cringeworthy. I'm like, yeah, but you gotta remember, he would had so much fun making this movie, and with all these puns, he would have just had
Yeah,
an absolute blast. Um,
nice.
but yeah, I'm here all day. But yeah, I don't know why Isla Miller's getting. I don't know why he's getting
Yeah, I
at
think they
all.
just put in so much money into this that you have to just be like,
You've
all right,
committed.
well, yeah, you have to. You either scrap the project or you do what you got to do.
Oh well, they did it to Batgirl.
Yeah, well, but I understand to a certain extent. Like I understand how heartbreaking Batgirl is, but Batgirl was done in a time where we're now that it was made for a time of the pandemic, and if it came out in 2021, then fine, that would have worked because we would have watched it at home. We still would have, like, we probably still had some at home orders, or you couldn't had to be a certain amount of people in the movie theater. It would have worked out.
Mm, that's
But if it's
right.
coming out in 2022 and everything's kind of gone back to normal, then you create a film for the small screen that isn't going to work and translate on the big screen, which is what they said.
Yeah,
And like I kind of have some forgiveness for that.
yeah.
I also think that you should let the fans make the choice on that, but if it's a way for you to get some money back, I kind of forgive it. Because then
Yeah.
that doesn't close the door on a Batgirl movie for good. It closes the door on that Batgirl movie. You can
Yes.
easily bring them back and create something brand new and better.
Well, that's exactly right. I just the thing is, it just gets me is because Michael Keaton was coming back, Brendan Fraser was going to be the villain, like he's with his
Oh
current
yeah.
resurgence in his career, and that was probably the two
Speaking of
main.
Brendan Fraser, I watched The Mummy yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Oh, what a film! What a
I know.
just he's the best.
Yeah.
I don't know
Bye,
how he
Benny.
got dropped off. I enjoy him so much. He has like these roles. He has a small role in Scrubs. You ever watch Scrubs?
Yes, yes, I loved him in
His
Scrubs.
if his role in Scrubs is enough to just pull on your fucking heartstrings. And when he spoiler alert, but it came out in 2001, so whatever. When he passes, you you feel the same emotion that the main characters do. Like Brendan Fraser
Yeah.
was an excellent actor. I mean, even Looney Tunes Back in Action, he's amazing in.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
I have not watched that in ages.
Yeah, and honestly, it holds up. It really does.
Yeah.
I would dare say that Looney Tunes Back in Action may be a better movie than 1995 Space Jam. I might dare say.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm not going to take. I'm going to take a dare on that. But I haven't watched Space Jam 2. I know that I haven't watched that.
I
So I'm
watched
still.
Space Jam 2, and the only thing cool about Space Jam 2 is just all of the DC characters or all of the Warner Brothers characters that are surrounding the arena. And you're like, oh, look, it's Penguin. Oh, shit, the Joker's there. Oh, look, Professor Snape. Like, that.
That's it.
Nothing else is exciting about that movie.
Oh, yeah, I did hear it didn't do too well.
Yeah.
But
I saw it when it was free, and then, like, that was...
well, at least you didn't pay for it. That's
Yeah.
the main thing. But yeah, it's yeah, I don't know, I understand. But look, moving on. Big Mouth. If you've ever watched that got big fan.
Big fan of Big Mouth.
Yeah, season 6 got its release date for the 28th of November. So I'm really looking forward to season 6. I've been loving Big Mouth ever since season 1. I even watched the
I'm a big Nick Kroll and John Mulaney fan.
Yeah.
You ever watch their Oh Hello?
No, not at all.
Okay, so it's on Netflix. They do it's like a stand-up special, but they play these old Jewish characters that like work together called Gil Faison and George St. Geeglin. And they have their prank show called Too Much Tuna. There was characters based on the Kroll show where they had a prank show called Too Much Tuna, and then somehow they turned it into a Hollywood Broadway show.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh wow! Now I'll have to go check that out. I didn't even know. The only other thing I know Nick Kroll was in off the top of my head was Sausage Party.
Yeah, and I Love You, Man.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. He does too. Yeah. But yeah, I watched Human Resources. I thought that was still in the same vein. I wasn't disappointed by that. But yeah, that's season 6 is coming out. I almost until I saw the poster there, I completely forgot about Big Mouth. I was like, oh, because Human Resources came out, I just assumed, you probably won't get season 6 until next year because they'd be working on that. But yeah, that actually wasn't too bad. So I'm really looking forward to that. And another big news that we got in the past week, which I can't ignore, is we got the first poster and trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie with Chris Pratt doing a subpar voice of Mario, but Jack Black killing it as Bowser.
I thought the same thing. Although I will say the voice didn't bother me as much as I thought it would.
No, it was better than what I was expecting.
So like I'm on board. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and I think if you're going to do a Super Mario movie, you have to do it animated. I'm not sure if you ever saw the 1993 classic Mario Brothers.
I've seen clips, and it is so hard to watch.
And considering it is an all-star cast, like Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, and Dennis Hopper, like it is an all-star cast. But that movie is
and I can understand.
I think that movie was ahead of its time. To be honest with you, I think that is the right way to put it.
Too early.
You attempt that movie with today's technology, or at least 10 years later, where we were with like puppets and shit, I mean, I think you get a better movie.
Yeah.
Like you can't do mushroom people. Like that's the thing, is that like you can't do mushroom people.
Nah.
So they had to change the storyline a little bit, and then you had like the Kubas, the mushroom people looked like fucking giant lizards. Like it was a lot.
Yeah, and I can understand why Nintendo was so hesitant on putting this. Never wanted to do it again, ever. And when I saw this get first announced, I thought Illumination was the perfect people that could pull this off, because after Despicable Me, Minions, Sing, and seeing that trailer looks gorgeous. All the
Hmm.
animation looks fantastic. You
By the
know,
way, having the penguins face off against Bowser and that beautiful, honestly,
do
because
you
it
yield?
was nostalgia for me. It was just throwing off a penguin off the cliff in that penguin level of N64, right? But
Yeah.
like, if it doesn't rub you that way, like I'm not like the hugest gamer. Like I didn't grow up with an N64. I had to go to like a buddy's place to play it, and like that. But that brought back like the fond memories of like those games. Like it. I can't wait to see what they do with this. And like it looks like there's a hint of haunted mansion for Luigi. Like there's like, and then like this, if this succeeds, there's a lot of doors that you can open with this, right? This could open the door to a Smash Brothers movie in a
It's
sense
yeah,
where you're just like,
Tendoverse.
yeah, like this. There's the things that you can open the door if this does well, which excites
Yeah.
me.
100%. And I think Illumination, if they can tap into that, they've got work for the next 10 years, even longer if they tap into that, into the entire catalog of
Yeah,
Nintendo. Like, I think a Pokemon movie in Illumination would look fantastic. I'd
I
be
agree.
take.
Well, I was very pleased with how the Detective Pikachu was.
I know. And
Like
how many people have like completely forgot that ever came out?
I mean, I watched it again the other day. I was on one of the streaming services. Canada, we have Crave, and I think I watched it there.
Crave.
Yeah, so you have a little Crave and Misbehave. It's it holds up to me because you got just enough Pokemon where you're in the right universe, and then like it kind of got rid of the whole like being a Pokemon trainer. But I would watch like I
Yeah.
feel like I would watch like a 3 movie saga of like an live Ash Ketchum getting in the like going to go get his badges and going to the like I feel like there's a good live action story to be told there.
I I agree, but what I don't get is just that there's been since it came out, there's been like no announcement, there's been no rumblings. It's just almost like it was just a one and done. Like
Yeah. And I
that's
don't
it.
think it got the praise that it deserved because it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I didn't
I
think it
think
was bad.
I don't think it got the box office it deserved. I don't think it did well at the box office, and it's one of those people who are like, I don't know. I'll watch it when it's there. And those who watched it when it was at home, which I'm guilty of, I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it at home, and I fucking loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I wish I saw it in theaters, and there's no account for how well a movie does later. Like there's a lot of directors that do well after the fact because their audience might not be ready yet.
No,
So
and that's right. They might not be ready, and and Ryan Reynolds again did a fantastic job as Pikachu. Even all the CGI was done really
name something
well.
he's bad in.
Green Lantern.
No, he's the only good thing in that movie. Like as much as I would love to shit on that movie, he's the only good thing about it.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But I completely forgot that Taika Waititi's in that.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah, Taika Waititi's in that. And I like
Yeah.
that whole bit they did where they just ignored the fact that they were in a movie together before.
Oh, with the Daredevil, not Daredevil, Deadpool and Korg. It's like, oh,
No, yeah, they did that, but they also did like for Free Guy. They were doing an interview thing,
yeah, that's
and they were talking
right.
about how they never worked together before and how it was very exciting to work together. Like, did you guys work on? Nope, no, that movie doesn't exist.
Nope, never happened.
Yeah,
But look, that's like I can't wait for the Super Mario movie. Obviously, it doesn't come out until next year. Obviously, we'll get another trailer 2 for that. So really, really pumped for that. That trailer completely took away all my concerns away for being worried about the film.
mm-hmm.
And I think it will. I hope it will go really well. But look, that's probably the biggest top news in the past week. But let's flip over to some reviews. Let's flip over to some reviews, which we both watched Werewolf by Night just recently. The Disney Plus Marvel special event, which is a horror movie, essentially a black and white horror movie that does a good homage to old like Frankenstein and vampires, and the Mummy does a good like backlog of that, which was done. Actually, I'll let you start. What were your thoughts on this special?
So I came in knowing nothing. Like the Werewolf by Night
Same.
comic book is not a thing I'm familiar with. I know that Moon Knight might have something to do with
He
it,
does, yeah.
but I was going in blind on this one, and it was fun. It was what I kind of wanted it to be. It was a nice little spooky romp, a nice little insight to like who the monster hunter were. It goes to show you the real monsters could be the monster hunters over the monsters. Love seeing Man Thing. And honestly, it's probably one of the better werewolf movies we've gotten in like the past 20 years. Even though this wasn't like, do you qualify this as a movie? What was it, like 45 minutes, an hour?
55 minutes. You could call it a movie. I guess you could call it a short movie. But you're right. It was done. I can't remember the last time I watched a decent werewolf movie.
The last one I saw was a movie called Silver Bullet, and it was like a Stephen King movie, which was like, but it was done in the 90s. So you have that 90s camp, but it was a decent werewolf flick.
Yeah.
But like, I can't, like, you have the Wolfman with Benicio del Toro, which was dog shit. And no pun intended.
Yeah.
And then you get with like this was just a lot of fun. You kind of didn't know where it was going. All of the actors in here were unfamiliar to me, so like a bunch of fresh faces for me. So I liked it. And then I'm very interested in the Bloodstone, which I'm sure I've heard somewhere. It reminded me of like something. Was it in the 90s Spider-Man? Was that somewhere before?
It could been. Like I've heard the Bloodstone in Marvel Comics before. I've heard its name dropped. I couldn't tell you the exact pinpoint where it's from, but I think for me they did for I went into this with no background. I only watched the very first trailer for it, and I was just blown away. The colors, the lighting, they did it all fantastic. And like as you said, even the story takes a quick shift in a different direction, so you didn't know what to expecting. And Disney got away with using all the blood in it and the action because they did black and white. But for anyone who's listening or watching at the moment, because we're currently on Twitch, go jump onto it. It's not horrific. Like it's not, oh my God, like saw blood and guts or anything like that. There is some kind of gory scenes, but nothing like
yeah. But it like it reminded me of like something out of like a Vincent Price Presents.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
And it was good. It was grimy. It was like there was enough gore where I'm not going like Jesus fucking Christ. But there's enough where I'm going like, all right, like we're in something here. Like this is like there's credibility with what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
And the comedy was good. I was on board. I really like what I saw. Honestly, this is something I would watch again, and it may become part of my 31 days of Halloween watching list.
It would be a great addition to that list, which is I keep forgetting I need to organize my own Halloween special episode because get started and all that. But I thing is, a lot of people do complain saying, you know, Marvel doesn't go dark enough or Marvel doesn't do this. And I feel like with this and Moon Knight, the thing is Marvel knows what we're asking. They know that there is people who want that dark and they are trying to give it.
Well,
Like Moon
you have
Knight.
to have the characters that are that dark, right? And you were seeing it with Moon Knight, and I think we're gonna see it with Blade.
Yes.
Deadpool is dark comedy, and we've seen that, but that was a Fox product. So I like to see what happens under the Disney mantle
That's gonna
or
be
the MCU mantle.
that's gonna be
But
insane.
I agree. But as long as like I see a rated R near there, and I want Wolverine to be the Wolverine that we know, it begs a lot of questions. And like I'm not one of these guys. Like I don't need something too dark. I've been all right with. There hasn't been a Marvel product where I don't have complaints. I have questions. I have questions. So I'll give you, like, and then like I would like a very clear timeline on where everything lands.
Yeah.
Just please help me out with where and when we are, because I don't know. And you can, if I know anything about Marvel, is that you can shuffle the deck on me. You can say that all of this happened. Like you have to go online to find out the events of Iron Man 2, Captain America, and Thor 1 all happened in the same week.
Well, that is correct. The quickest way to know the timeline is Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is the only quickest way you can look at the timeline, because if you open all the films, they've got them in timeline order.
Yeah.
So you can click timeline.
Yeah, and so that's like I just want to know where She-Hulk lands in the sense of all of the stuff that's been happening. This Thor: Love and Thunder not happen, like, because you can shuffle the deck with all the shows, right?
Yeah. Well, all we know about She-Hulk is it is after Shang-Chi. It's after Doctor Strange 2.
Is it after Shang-Chi? Because you can argue that it might be around the same time. It could be.
Yeah,
I know that he goes away in the car. Like it could have been that week. Like
yeah.
he could have been like, like that's my thing, is that there's no time, and I guess what I'm asking for something is something like very non-important. Like it's not important.
Yeah.
It's my big thing of like confusion of just where are we right now, or when are we right now?
Where's the date? Especially after it was Spider-Man Homecoming, that stuff at the timeline straight away when it said Avengers 60 years ago, and you're like, no, it's not. No, and no,
But
it's
then you
not.
remember it's 2023 and
yeah, I know. I keep forgetting that too. I keep forgetting the fact it's, if it's not right now, it's year 2023,
yeah.
which gives them more ball game, because they can almost write anything they want, because anything could happen. Which again, we're only a year away from 2023.
Yeah. And then I get that there hasn't been enough like repercussion of the blip stuff. We've gotten little bits. We've gotten like little bits here and there, but like the blip was a big deal, and all we get are throwaway lines about it, or all we get is just a quick one-off scene about them returning, or just like, right? It's
that there hasn't been a big impact. My still favorite was, I think it's Far From Home. The teachers are on the plane, and he's like, it was something like, "Oh, my wife left me. She said that she'd been blipped when actually she's just been cheating on me the whole time." Whole time. And it's like, oh.
Yeah. And then that guy was also the original Invincible Hulk in that Incredible Hulk, where he was a student and he gets the pizza from Edward Norton. And then, like, there's that shit that they do. And I like that stuff. Like, there's tie-ins fucking everywhere.
The thing is, Marvel, any character you see can come back at any time. Hell, the scientist from the Incredible Hulk is now the villain for Cap 4. Like, who would have predicted that?
Honestly, I've been wanting to see the leader for a little while. Like, I don't know many Hulk villains. The ones that I do know are just Red Hulk, Leader, and Abomination. And like when we're living in a weird in a world where we're getting Abomination back, and we got Abomination back, why not do this? Like, why not? Why not? Because like I'm also one of the people that like in the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton movie. Like, what was everyone's complaint about that? Like, everyone said it was boring. I mean, it was action packed. I don't know. Maybe I'm not as picky as most people are. I look for a
I'm,
movie to be entertaining, and that was it for me.
no, there's a lot of action in it. That's like I didn't mind Edward Norton. Like I still think he did a good job. Do I kind of have in my back of my mind? Do I wish it was Mark Ruffalo from the very start, so he would have the full character arc? I would
Yeah,
say yes. Like I would have loved to seen his version in that movie and carry on all the way to we do now. Which we got a lovely comment at the was it the very first episode 2 of She-Hulk, and he's like,
it was
"Oh,
an
oh, I
entirely
was
different person.
yeah, I was a completely different person when that all
Uh,
happened,"
yeah,
which
yeah, and that was
which
a
I
great
love.
line.
Yeah.
And like I didn't have much problem with Edward Norton. I think he would have fit in just fine as an Avenger if you know you never recast him.
Mm,
I but like there's not much you can do in the way of a Hulk movie if you're doing an origin story where he doesn't come off as a fugitive film, and that's what it is. It's a fugitive film.
yes,
There's a lot of
that's
running and hiding. There's a lot of like sneaking, going to the people that you trust the most. Like it to me, the Hulk story is very much the fugitive.
yes, a very long fugitive movie. But you're
Yeah.
right because he's hunted the whole time, and now and it's gonna be very. The thing is, like going over the side point again is how the lead is going to come into Cap 4, why he's going to be the villain, what has he been up to for the past.
Is he the villain or a villain?
I thought they announced that he is the villain for the
I
movie.
think he's a villain. I don't think he's the.
Oh, that would also look. I could see that too. That the fact that the villain for Cap 4 we have not seen yet.
Yeah, I think there's more to it because especially with the intelligence, like this is a thing.
Oh,
If you're going to
I
go
could have
comic book,
pronounced that. I could have pronounced that 2 weeks ago. I was trying to do my review and I was butchering you. Intel. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, but like that's a program that's run by like Modoc and the leader and
Which
like
we
a who's
which we're
who of
getting
big brains on the evil side of
which we're
Marvel
getting
Comics.
Modoc.
Yeah, which we are getting. I'm so excited for Modoc. I've been wanting Modoc forever.
Yeah.
But
Rumor is he's voiced by Jim Carrey.
really,
Yes, that's the rumor going around. He's voiced by Jim Carrey.
ooh, that's
Which
exciting because you need that like because he is a character, right? He has that like Jim Carrey can have fun with that voice. I'm very excited about that if that's the
yeah.
case. Um, but with that, so like my theory right now, and I don't want to just jump into She-Hulk real quick, but I'm going to. I think leader is the introduction. Like I think like the leader is the introduction of is our main villain here, and I like that we have the villain late. I thought like the way WandaVision did things was right. I liked their story, and then you find out that it was Agatha all along, but then you find out there's actually Scarlet Witch, not knowing she was doing shit. Like I like that. I like that we have a face off with an evil person at as a final. It's like a giant mystery, and someone's just living their life, and then shit's going awry left and right. But there's been someone pulling the puppet strings in the
Yeah.
background. I kind of like that. Like I've gotten an argument with Louis on Earth 894 about how he feels that we're watching She-Hulk and nothing has really happened yet. But what we're seeing is someone grow into the hero that they're supposed to be. And until they get that final big bad that they're supposed to face off against, she's gone for someone that has decided to not be a superhero, that uses her powers just as a gimmick for work, to going to be like, no, I'm going to have to use this for good now.
Yeah. Which we will get into because there is a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
Which I just had the same. You're right with She-Hulk because yeah, WandaVision is still the stand barrier, and all that. But just pull back one sec. So for everyone, definitely go watch Werewolf by Night. You will not be disappointed.
Really liked it.
Yeah, and real quick, we'll touch on this real quick. Star Wars Andor, the axe forgets. I found that the landscape shots and all this were fantastic. I do like the tension, the team. Except the poly thing is, this episode I found it a bit slow, and I was a little bit annoyed. I'm like,
Well, we
I
need
still have
the
to wait
slow
another
build,
week.
right?
Yeah, well, it's 12
There's
episodes.
nothing wrong with slow. And what I like about this is that it gives us the insight of the rebellion, the beginning stages of the rebellion. It's questioned, like, when Rogue One came out, it was a movie that no one asked for or wanted. And then it was a fucking great movie because you got, this is what the rebellion's all about. Holy fucking shit. And then you're like, oh, they're getting the plans to this. Like, you knew they were getting the plans to the Death Star. You knew, like, in the beginning of the movie, like the middle of the movie, that was the thing. And it didn't even occur to you that you're gonna have that opening scene from A New Hope. And then you
No.
just went, what the fuck? Thank you. Like, it was just, it was fan service. We're actually at war. We're like the battle is real. Like, this whole rebellion of, like, what they have to do to get insight. And that's what I love about Andor. It is the question of, what was it like to be in the rebellion? Really be in the rebellion and not be one of the main three or a part of the family that's fucking up the galaxy for everybody.
One family's drama.
Star Wars is one family's drama fucking up the galaxy for everyone.
You're not wrong. It's so true. But when Star Wars Andor got announced, my first thought was like, who the hell asked for this? We all knew they died. Like, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, I did not know this was going to be requested. But so far, especially after episode 3, I can see why this was requested, and it's been the CGI fantastic. All the interaction with the characters, what being introduced is great. I just
was probably it with you that Michael O'Rear brought up the fact that there's a lack of aliens?
Yes,
or other
which
species?
which I didn't think of that either until he mentioned it. I was like, you're right. Even this episode, we still didn't get many aliens at all.
Episode 1, I thought we had an alien at the brothel.
No, there was no alien. They were all human. Because he was talking to the bird. And then he was talking to the blokes.
He wasn't one of those, like, long tail head people, no? Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
No, I don't think it was. No.
Okay.
Ooh. But no, like, the only alien I can think of off the top of my head was the one at the delivery center that was translating for the bloke when he was trying to organize the shipment out of the box out. And they were like construction crew, but they were like, freight people.
Yeah.
But you're right. Michael's spot on. There hasn't been many aliens. There were still not many aliens in this episode either. I said probably the only thing I was expected, I just thought that maybe it would have ended on a cliffhanger of them, all right, go, and going into it. Wasn't expecting.
See, what I like about that is that we're gonna get a full episode of them pulling this off.
Yes, this week. We're gonna get it.
So that's what I do like. I do like it is this like the problem with being a rebellion is you can't trust anyone unless you've known them for a long time, and that's what I like about this. This is the, like, you came out of fucking nowhere, man. Like, why are you here? And, like, there's got to be a reason why. Like, you like, what is it? And no one can put their finger on it. And it's just it's not right. And I think he's a necessary piece to their puzzle, even though they say that they disagree. You know what? You don't know what you're gonna get when you got Cassian and Andor on the scene, right?
No, you would have heard it. Yeah, where it was like, my first thought was like, why the hell did you pick Clem? Like, that's such like a white male name. And then
it's
Michael,
very Southern states name.
Yeah. Yeah. Until
Michael.
Well, that's what Michael mentioned, the fact that it's because of his dad who picked him up.
Shout out to Michael O'Rear, man. That guy has insights. Like, I think he looked it up online, but, like, that guy has some serious insights to things. I love talking to him because he makes me, like, I think he's capable of making me change opinions on things based on how he presents it. He's a very insightful fella.
He is, and how quickly he pops out episodes. God damn.
He's a master of his craft too, because like he commits, and then if he has to do like multiple in a week, because now he's got Andor and She-Hulk, and he's not combining episodes. He's gonna do one Andor, he's gonna do one She-Hulk, and he's gonna get a guest, and if he doesn't get a guest, he just did one with his wife, who did not care about D23 at all, and she was just like, yeah, that was kind of. He's like you could see him like, can you please be a little bit excited about this? And she's just like, well, kind of. I like this character, which is nice. Like honestly, I thought it was a fun episode of just like one man trying to convince his wife that the things that he likes is cool.
You're excited, right? You're pumped. I'm always like that with my partner as well. Unless we're talking about Harry Potter, or a Jim Carrey movie, she's like, oh yeah, cool.
My partner doesn't like movies, so like all of my stuff goes by the wayside.
Oh shit!
Yeah, man. I don't. You know how opposites attract? This
Bingo.
is one of those. Yeah. She's a great lady. She's a great lady. She just doesn't like movies.
Well, movie night must be very hard. What would you like to watch?
No, it's nap time for her.
Okay. Well, hey, that means you can pick whatever you like.
Oh, I that's the best part. I get my pick every single time.
Yeah.
I tried to show her Grand Budapest Hotel, and within 4 minutes she was like, I don't even know what this is about, and then went and fell asleep.
Oh, well, hey, at least you got the choice, and at least you know what can put her to sleep quite quickly.
She's a wonderful woman. I love her to bits, but yeah, it's her one flaw. She doesn't like movies.
You're right. Hey, as you said, opposites attract.
Yeah, and that couldn't be more true, man.
That's true. Yeah, I made my partner sit through before we saw Endgame and Infinity War. I made her watch all the movies. I was like, you need to watch this, and then since then she watched WandaVision and Doctor Strange 2 only because of Wanda, and then anything else she's like, nah, I don't get. She's like, tell me when Wanda. What did you tell?
And there's nothing wrong with that too. Like, you know what? Because you gotta have to go the other way. So like you gotta find like. So have you like do all the Harry Potter movies with her whenever you can? And
we do, and we made sure to go see Fantastic Beasts. So she loves all that. So I make sure to watch all that with her. And she likes to go and watch all them. So I was like, yeah, I'll sit and watch all of them with you. Of course.
Yeah. Attaboy. Like, you put in the work.
Yeah. I'm like, yes, there's only, she did say to me, she's like, well, there's only 7 Harry Potters, but there is 22 MCU films that I need to watch. And I was like, they're really good.
Fantastic Beasts keep getting better, because then they can start doing a whole bunch of stuff and those movies get better.
I know. And I even think to myself, I'm like, imagine if Disney owned Harry Potter, like what Disney Plus shows we would be getting.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? I was talking about this recently. I think Harry Potter would work great on a streaming service, not as movies, but as a TV show. Imagine you got to hire a kid, you got to get commitment all the way up to graduation, right? And then you do it frame for frame, because that was the big thing that's lacking in the movies. Is there's a bunch of characters that don't make the cut, there's a bunch of stories that don't make the cut. I love the storyline of what's the Weasley brother that breaks off from the family? Percy. When Percy Weasley breaks off
the
from
dragons.
The family. Yeah, well, because not the one with the dragons. He's the one. He was the head boy. Percy is because he starts to work for the Minister of Magic, so he starts to see things from his perspective, and it drives a rift between him and the rest of the Weasley family who are trying to fight a war against Voldemort. That I enjoyed, because here you are having this civil war within a family because of a different belief system, and he wasn't pro Voldemort, but he was pro the minister, who the minister was ignoring the fact that Voldemort was back. there's so much good in the literature of Harry Potter that I was late to. When I was a kid, I didn't read these books. I couldn't read a book to save my life when I was a child. I read them. I read the books to win an argument with a friend of mine because I had seen all the movies. I was like, the only person to show any growth out of all the Harry Potter books is Neville Longbottom. It's the only one that shows like actual growth as a character. He
Wait,
goes from zero to hero.
he's the one who did. He's the one who did the flip.
Yeah, he goes from zero to hero. He goes from this dweeby,
Yeah,
like, a little bit
zero to
fat.
hero. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah, and he comes in and you see him at the end where he's a fucking badass fighting snakes, come to his own in herbology, and then you find out throughout the books that if the choice was just a little bit different, he also could have been the chosen one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
And it's a very and it's a much more interesting story if Neville's the chosen one because he starts off with struggling.
Yeah.
But I won't get into that. So like the point I'm making is like I got into this argument, and the friend of mine said that you don't have a leg to stand on because you haven't read the books. I said I will be right back.
Well,
read all the books.
BRB.
Yeah, read all the books, and so I went like, all right, I still think what I think. Like Ron's still the best friend. Like he doesn't like nothing changes. Hermione's still a fucking know-it-all, and Harry's still like the fucking bee's knees and everything. Nothing changes for them. Only thing that changes for everybody is Neville Longbottom going from zero to fucking hero. And they're like, yeah, no, you're right. I just was tired of this fucking argument.
I love that. I was like, oh, I read the books. Oh, what do you think? Exactly the same. Everything I just said to you in the movies is I could still say an argument. That's so good.
Yeah.
But pull it back from Harry Potter, Star Wars Andor. No, it's all right. As you would know, my entire podcast is almost built off tangents.
Yes, and I love it too. The fact that you do it by yourself impresses me.
Oh, thank you. I just recently just got a review on Apple Podcasts saying one man show.
Yeah, I put on a review the fact because you bring a lot of. I'm gonna pump your tires a little bit here. Sorry, I know you want to talk about Star Wars Andor, but I put on a review recently and just I really enjoy your enthusiasm. Like you come in, fucking balls to the wall, especially when you're by yourself. You have no one to get that extra energy from, which is like what a lot of us have co-hosts, which who can engage us and then take us away from things. You come in balls to the wall, ready to talk about things, and it's all your opinion. And I love that. It's your enthusiasm, and you're carrying the show, whether you do a 35-minute episode or an hour and a half. It takes great fucking courage to do what you're doing. And the fact that you're riffing on your own, and you come in with your own points and your own experiences and all that stuff, man, I'm a big fan of what you do. I when I was trying to figure out the podcast, I needed a partner. I need that give and take of something. You come in, I love it. You do a great job.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that, and that means a lot. There was never a co-host idea when I originally started. It was just always good. It was just going to be me, but that's why ranting was my key word. I'm like, yeah, I can rant for 35 minutes. I can rant for an hour, and it still amazes me to this day that people do listen to me by myself for over 30 minutes or an hour and doesn't get bored.
Well, because you come with such enthusiasm, right? Like, it's clear to me that what you're talking about is stuff you love. You love this stuff. And you when you get someone that's passionate, it's hard not to listen to somebody who's passionate. It's a great thing. It's a great thing, and it's a good and it's a positive platform. When you who are you talking about? You were giving people shit about not liking things or shitting on things before they're discovered. I can't remember what the context was.
Oh, so when I was talking about a toxic fan base?
Yeah, toxic fan bases, man.
Yeah.
Like I love that stuff because I'm a firm believer like you do. There are toxic fan bases fucking everywhere, whether it's MCU or Star Wars. Star Trek is bad for it. And it's like I'm on board. Like you spoke the truth. I could have listened to you talk like another 45 minutes just on that. But you were just like when I say like I listen to the show, I do. Like it's not just me pumping your tires just to say things because I want you to have me back on. No, man, I actually listen to your show and the things that you bring up, and it's great. Like I think as a podcasters that are on like I view us as like the punk rock or the indie rock scene of just we're not paid for this. No one's giving us money, or at least I'm not getting paid for this. It's this passion project of just I think that this is exciting, and I hope people out there think that this is exciting. And the fact that you're doing this solo, man, like give yourself a round of applause because it takes a real fucking set of balls to do something on your own, and you're creating content and you're creating good content. So, like I'm happy we found each other over social media. Instagram's been amazing help, and I've
Since
been able to
July.
discover your show. Like this is like I know that if you hear me on other people's shows, like I pump their tires too, but
Yeah, you
honestly,
do.
I don't. It's all truth. Like I don't like I love it when people take chances and they bet on themselves. And that's what a lot of people are doing right now in this podcast community of ours.
Hmm.
And like I'll give props to the guys at Star Wars, I'll give props to Earth 894. Like they have a good product. And honestly, Lee, you have a good product. Congratulations, man. And you're the face of that. That's all you. Congratulations.
Shit, man. Thank you. Well, I don't know what to say. No, I just really appreciate that, and honestly, man, and it's yeah, it's all passion. All of this, as I said, it's all passion. Like nothing of this feels. I was explaining this to the person, one of my colleagues at work. I was like, none of all this is doesn't feel like work to me. It's all I find fun. And if something does hit just one person, then I'm happy at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if there's not 1,000 viewers. If just one person appreciates it and connects to me on Instagram, then I know I've done my job.
Yeah.
And that the toxic fan base thing, I had to get that out because it just, as you would know, it's for anyone who hasn't listened to it, it's about me for about 15 minutes, absolutely shitting on all like basically TikTok movie reviews, both bitching and moaning to each other and cutting people's videos a lot shorter, and because of She-Hulk and everything. But dude, like enough, no, not about me. Your show, you guys can keep pumping it through. Your logo, your visually, your what you do with your Instagram is all fantastic.
Thank you.
And you're about 4 months before me, before I started my show. I
Always
started
a
in
competition between us.
but no, you guys need to keep doing a good job, and that's the thing is like I'm really glad that I've got to meet all these people. I've got to meet everyone like yourselves. Like we're chatting, like we've deep dived on heaps of things in our group in our chat.
Yeah.
And it's been great talking with Michael, the Nerd Dose guys, and just being able to talk to everybody. And it just shows you the fact that you're right. No one gets paid for this. This is all just our labor of just how much we want to get this out. And I almost regret that. I wish I started this sooner.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's these great conversations that you wouldn't otherwise have, or these hypotheticals, and it comes down to like, are you like a Kevin Smith fan at all?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
like
so
Kevin
you know that
Smith.
conversation that they have in the original Clerks about the Return of the Jedi, how how there must have been a lot of contractors working on the Death Star when the Death Star blew up.
Yeah.
So like, I love that conversation. I love it, and like I try to have those conversations with other like-minded individuals of just like if your partner was on right now, I'd probably talk to her about like like it's weird that they didn't have a math class at Hogwarts. Like these kids are going back home and like they can't do simple addition. Sure, they could do some magic spells, like, but there's no like arithmetic. Like,
Yeah, what about
how
everything
was
else?
school? How was boarding school? Your early school? Oh, it's pretty cool. Did you learn about the Pythagorean theorem? No, I can turn
Oh,
your book into a bottle of water though if you wanted.
yeah,
Like,
I could talk to my
those are
owl.
Yeah, like you can have those but that's what I like about this show, and that's what I like about doing it with my cousins. My cousin and I kind of indulge in these like weird hypotheticals. I was watching something like this, and like one thing I'm going to bring up on a future episode is like, how come in the horror movie everyone is just easily convinced to go, you know what? Let's not summon the fucking demon. Like there's always, oh yeah, we're all gonna do it. Shit's not gonna go awry, and then you have a whole fucking horror movie. Like I know that like it brings the plot along, but everyone's just kind of all for it. It's fucked up to me. Like there's not that one person going like, guys, the worst case scenario of this is a really bad worst case scenario.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't do this. Like this could be really bad. And then obviously that person, if that person did say that in the movie, they're the first person to die.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's fucked. Like I was watching Slender Man the other day, and like all it is like a group of girls going like, "Yep, we're gonna summon the Slender Man." Really? You didn't have anything better to do that day? Movie theaters were closed. Yeah, you didn't want to go like call some boys over and play fucking spin the bottle. Nothing better to do.
No,
Nothing.
let's go summon Slender Man. What else? Yeah, what else could we do? And that's the thing is like as built off tangents.
Yeah, it is that crazy episode. So yeah, all that to say, Andor it was a decent episode this week. I guess what I'm trying to say is,
pull back. Sum up. Yeah, Star Wars Andor. It was a decent episode. So obviously next episode, which seems to be that's kind of like the trend we're probably going to see in the show. So like build, action, build, action. Because then technically this is
what I like about it is that like it is a thing that needs to be funded. And there are these like-minded people amongst the Empire that are doing what they have to do because they know what the Empire is. The Empire is wrong and it's evil. Yeah. So it's a thing that like I like that too. It's like it's this beautiful inside baseball of just what it takes to be in the rebellion.
Yeah, what's going to do? And like even right at the end, as the episode ends, Luthen looks worried. He looks very worried about the whole thing. And the thing is, at the end of the day, we know Cassian survives. Yeah. That's basically all we know about this mission. Is obviously the mission. Well, we don't know if the mission was a success. We know obviously he survives.
Mission leads to is the capture of K2SO.
Yeah, I really hope he does. Yeah, I really hope he does appear. Like him being in the rest of the season. Done. He would love that. He might be the
best android to ever don the screen.
Yeah.
Like
we're saving you. Great. You're being saved.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Where are you taking these prisoners? Where these prisoners?
R2D2's a badass, but he doesn't like speak the way like so like if there are some great lines, they get ruined. Like I'm of this weird mindset of if I had to travel in space and and I either had to bring C-3PO or Jar Jar Binks with me, I'm bringing Jar Jar. Because at least I got that positive fucking energy with me, all right? Jar Jar might be clumsy and a wee bit annoying, but I will take that positive energy before, like, the odds of you surviving this is 980,000 to 1 or whatever the fuck. C-3PO is such a fucking whiner. And doesn't do anything of note until Return of the Jedi. He's just there bitching the whole time.
And he takes he beats up R2D2 as well.
Yeah.
And leaves him in the desert.
He fucking hits him.
Yeah, hits him. But yeah.
And then whereas Jar Jar Binks is, as much as he was an annoying character, they made him so relevant to the story. So without Jar Jar Binks, Empire doesn't take over. Yeah, this is a negative fucking thing, but it creates the Star War.
Essentially.
What does C-3PO do? He just happens to speak Ewok.
Yeah, and apparently he has a red arm for one movie, and apparently he also can speak Sith or a dead language that apparently Anakin would have known when he built him to not let him speak this language. Anyway, that goes too deep into all that. But
Here's my theory on that, though. You remember when they gets taken apart in Empire Strikes Back in the Cloud City? Because he
yeah,
was taken apart by stormtroopers.
yeah, yeah.
Do you think those guys put the Sith language into him then?
Yes, that could. Yeah, actually, yeah, that makes. I didn't even think about that. You're right. That could be where he got the Sith language
Yeah.
into him because they were going to repurpose him, obviously. Um, but yeah, it's true actually. But yeah, Star Wars Andor, solid episode. Can't wait for the next one. I'm still enjoying the
Yeah.
season. You know, can't believe
It's
the
good
fact that we're.
acting. It's a good story. I mean, I'm not upset with this. Sorry for all the tangents.
Nah, no, don't worry, man. Don't worry. But let's get into the last review to wrap up this particular episode. So, She-Hulk. Not only She-Hulk, we got Rip It and Rip It, motherfucker. We got Charlie Cox returning as Daredevil, which he nailed it out of the park. Marvel knew the mission. They brought it. He brought it. Honestly, you could watch season 3 of Daredevil and still be the same character.
Yeah. Right off the bat, I was happy to see he's the Charlie Cox, like he's the Matt Murdock that so I didn't watch the third season of Daredevil. I got season 1 and 2, and then I just kind of left it alone. Not because I didn't enjoy it; it was just because life happens, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back to season 3 because I'm excited for all the Daredevil stuff that we're gonna have that we're gonna get down the road. But I love him as a lawyer. He does the right thing, and then they paved ways for it to make sense. The hows and the whys. Every once in a while, I do pick up a client that pays us because we need to keep the lights on. Fucking perfect. That's enough. That's enough for me. And yeah, if you have to go to an outside source to go get a new suit, by all means, do it up. I thought the banter was pretty decent between he and She-Hulk when they were facing off.
I thought that was good too. I didn't. The thing is, people were like, "Oh, he joked." I'm like, he joked to the Netflix show too. I saw one of the best things I saw on TikTok, which was such a good point, was that people were like, "Oh no, he joked to She-Hulk." You got to remember, the villains that Daredevil versed in the Daredevil costume, they were like, I'm not saying that it was their personality. They weren't going to joke. So Daredevil made that same personality obviously match. This is the first time that we see on screen of him versing someone who has a sense of humor. It's the same thing if he versed, like for the example, the Joker,
Spider-Man,
or Spider-Man.
I like yours better actually.
Oh yeah, but like I mean, like the banter would be obviously different compared to someone of Kingpin who's just serious and I'm going to wreck you. So we even know if the personality was different, he would still made that joke.
And also, he knows She-Hulk, right? Like off the bat.
Yeah.
So like he has that one up on her. It's like he knows that there's a level of confusion here. So he's trying to ease the tension with humor. You can do that. Like that's what I thought that humor scene was. Going, I know why she's here. She's his lawyer. She only knows half of what's going on.
Yeah, she doesn't know.
She doesn't know. So I'm going to joke around here a little bit, see if I can ease the tension, because then once we can communicate, we're going to be able to fix this and then work together.
Yeah, and I just, I was a little bit nervous, like everybody else, thinking how he's going to be introduced. Obviously, we didn't get enough of him in No Way Home. Like, only said three lines.
Obviously.
But I feel like Kevin Feige, Marvel knew the stakes. And so obviously when this episode starts, we get introduced to Eugene, a massive douche who got his costume ruined. And She-Hulk takes him on. They go into a court case with Luke, who makes the suits. And we get the awesome scene of seeing Charlie Cox rock up as Matt Murdock, which the back and forth between them in that scene is perfect. Like, very lawyer aspect, fantastic.
Oh yeah.
To me personally, I thought, that's pretty much if you draw back to all the court scenes in the Netflix show, same kind of demeanor, same kind
Well
of thing,
said,
like
yeah. Well,
no different. And then we get the bar scene where he gets her an apple martini.
hilarious.
Yeah. And then we get this banter between back and forth, which we get a little bit of background is that well, slight spoiler, he's got the firm. He's still got the firm, the Matt Murdock and Foggy, because he says
Foggy
that what
Nelson, right?
Foggy Nelson, where he says we take pro bono. So obviously he's obviously not going to say who it is, but like, you know, he says he's still got it. He's still based in New York, and why he's coming over to Los Angeles. And I think he said one of the best lines. We did get a promo of it, but I do love this line. It's like, you know, Jennifer Walters helped people that society has failed them, but She-Hulk can help people where the law has failed them. And like,
Yeah,
I feel like
beautiful line.
Those two lines, that's almost like the switch in her of where she can use She-Hulk as a hero.
It's the Daredevil version of with great power comes great responsibility.
Bingo.
And even then, like, I got chills watching that scene. I got chills watching him fight because he was just as violent, right? Like when he was sneaking in, like the violence was there. Like, let's not like let's point out the obvious. Like one thing that Daredevil the Netflix show was fucking violent, and the violence is still there.
Yep.
So I was happy to see that. I was happy to see like what a very interesting team up is.
Yeah.
Like, She-Hulk and Daredevil, right? And then obviously they hook up at the end, which I loved. What I love most is the walk of shame in the Daredevil costume.
I know. And then
Beautiful.
And her friend's like, oh, some guy in a devil suit doing a walk of shame. I don't know if you saw it, but I posted the meme a couple of days ago, and it was like, this is not what I thought would mean when they said that Daredevil will be in She-Hulk.
I saw that, and I laughed. That was a good meme. Like, I've been enjoying She-Hulk so much, whereas like the fact that like we don't have a big villain of the week or anything like that doesn't bother me. I've been so entertained by the daily life of just Jennifer Walters. I've said it before. It's like Ally McBeal meets superheroes. It's just you don't need that big bad. It's just been really fun, and it hasn't been a letdown. The comedy's there. There's so much. Like I could watch this with my mom, and we would both get something out of it.
It's true. Yeah, it's funny you actually say that because I've watched about 3 or 4 episodes with my mum actually, because I on Thursday nights for us it comes out 6:00 Thursday night, and I play night tennis, so I usually go to my parents and have dinner. So it's come on every single time, and we've actually watched it, and we watched the last episode, and she said it's like that was really good with Daredevil.
And it's a great show, and like I like that Marvel's kind of pushing the envelope with like the sex scenes and like a little bit of the nudity. Like, you know, we saw Thor's ass. About time. like one thing that we're forgetting is that like at their core they're all kind of people. Yes, they're superhuman or gods or whatever, but they are people and like
still got human tendencies,
needs, and all this stuff. Like, show us that stuff. Have a time. Like, so like this new era of MCU has gotten a little bit sexier. It's gotten a little bit more comedic, which I'm not bothered by. Like, a lot of people have a lot of issues with Miss Marvel. I really enjoyed Miss Marvel. I'm one of the few.
You would know my review about Miss Marvel.
That if I had a daughter, it would be something I would happy to be watched with her, because now what I'm starting to realize is that Marvel's out there showing us every character, but what we know about every character is that, and it was the same in the books. These characters weren't directed at all of us.
No,
they're directed for a significant audience, and I can And I can understand that Miss Marvel's not made for me, but I can find the things that I like about it. I liked her powers. I like her coming to it. I like the fact that she's a fan is enough for me to relate because I too am a fan.
Yeah,
And
I
then it
liked
was
all
just,
that.
and it was enough for me to be like, if I had a daughter, this would be my introduction point for her. And then if she liked this, then I can take her back to the other stuff. It could be it's an introduction point. And then I don't think everyone saw it as such. And it didn't get enough respect in the sense that you were trying to make it more for a global scale, which of course they are. MCU's worldwide. Why wouldn't they?
No, and that's the thing. It's meant to be. There's things that that are meant to be different takes. Sorry, different takes. There's meant to be different memes for different people. That's the thing. Is like some people don't like Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, but then again, there's people who don't like Thor. But then again, people really love Moon Knight because of how dark it is, and people like Hawkeye. And then again, the massive culture for Black Panther. That's another whole case in and itself. But with Black Panther, with She-Hulk, I've been enjoying She-Hulk. I've been enjoying it a whole lot more than Miss Marvel. Just because, again, my personal thing on it is like I'm enjoying it a whole lot more. And the hallway scene, they nail that hallway scene with Daredevil, and that was brutal. That was absolutely brutal scene. And how the episode ended too, how that is perfectly set up the last episode that we will see this week. And I can't believe it's been 9 weeks already that we've seen a She-Hulk.
And we're actually seeing She-Hulk get angry because she has such good control over her, right?
Yes, we haven't seen her act like that since the first episode.
Yeah, where she needs to get actually. So when she's She-Hulk, she needs to get angry, and then it goes to a whole fucking another level. Whereas where she's Jennifer Walters, she can control her anger because of that great speech from episode 1 of just, you think I've just been tolerating shit? Like, no, I've been doing this my whole life. Great line. Very very powerful. Probably makes you relook at some of the women in your life with like comments you may have made that you go, fuck, I was kidding, but maybe they took it a different way. Like it's it makes you want
that's a whole other kettle of fish.
But it makes you want to kind of like be better in that sense.
Yeah.
Or at least it did for me.
Because you don't know what they're going through.
Exactly. We're so different. And that's what I like about this, is that we're so different that I'm on board for whatever's happening because like I'm there with a notepad going like, wow, I'm learning about women.
From She-Hulk. Because it's from her point of view. And it's showing that men are scum. And I'm like, yeah, I know what we are. When I scroll through TikTok and look at everyone's reviews, I'm like, yeah, we're scum.
So like all of that to say, like I've really enjoyed She-Hulk. I'm excited to see the climax. I think the front runner for bad guy is the leader, and if it's not, then I'll be happily surprised to see. But who else could it be unless it's Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine,
which, if Michael's theory comes true, is the Red Hulk, Red She-Hulk.
Yeah, which I'm down for.
Yeah. All we know about the last episode at this stage, because Mark Ruffalo put it on his Instagram, is that Mark Ruffalo will be returning as the Hulk for this last episode, and so will Titania. She will also be returning in this last episode because he posted a photo with her saying it was so good to meet you, and in the background is a set piece of like a house or something. I'm like, none of that has appeared so far. So I'm guessing it's going to be the final.
Mark Ruffalo, eh? He's so bad.
I know. He's just bad as Tom
bad
Holland.
With the spoilers.
Yeah.
Like, I get that you're excited. I'm for it. And I also like that he would say he'd play Hulk as long as he was wanted, right? And like, I'm on board for that too. And I think you need that mindset.
Yeah, I think he does, and he's doing. I hope he does. It will be very sad when he also calls it quits as well, because we've grown up with this character. But you do know that She-Hulk is passing the torch. It is.
Yeah.
is her moving forward. But overall, so current. Oh no, so sorry, Icon on Twitch. Sorry, spoilers. We did say that earlier, and he is agreeing that we ask going to She-Hulk's thing. So I do agree. Thank you for stopping by, Icon. Thank you very much for everyone who stopped by in this Twitch stream for this particular episode. And Tom, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on this episode. And this will not be the last time that you will appear. You will always have a spot on here at any time, because I know that we will do another episode together. 110%. It was
a lot of fun, man. Yeah. Did I break the record with Michael O'Rear or what?
Was timing right? Yes, you've broken the record. As I could pretty sure it was 159.
That was a little bit of the goal.
Yeah. Yep. So you crossed that threshold. But look, any final words?
Hit us up on our Instagram, 2 Sides of the Story Pod. If you ever want to give like a hypothetical, or you want to ask a question, or you want to just shoot the shit about pop culture in general, where you can reach us at the number 2. That's the number 2 Sides of the Story Pod, 2 Sides of the Story Pod at gmail.com. And then, we release episodes every Monday. My cousin Sean and I just doing our thing.
Do it. Everyone needs to go follow. And you need to cross that. Everyone needs to go follow, jump onto this show. They do a fantastic job, and their quality is exactly the same, and you just need to jump onto it. You will not be disappointed at all. But look, guys, thank you very much for everyone joining for this episode. And until next time, happy ranting.
Happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.